Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chat with Kat. Look, let me let you know how blessed I am that you are here with us on tonight. I have a very special guest, Tanika Coleman, nurse and lactation consultant. Now, let me tell you, some of you might think that this show is not for you, but it is because it is very informative. It's going to give you some inspiration, some empowerment, some get up and go, get your stuff together, do what you got to do because when it's your passion and you're driven by passion, it's not exactly work. You will find that out on your journey as you open up and get to your expertise, get to your passion, get to those things that drive you. You will find out that it's not work at all. You know, there is that there is those nuances that you aren't familiar with that will and technical sides to things that you might not have discovered yet or that you know much about yet. Network, connect with people that know about those things and that you can be schooled on, right? Or you let somebody else do it. So, but and look, I'm not going to hold it off any longer. There were some glitches going on even today. God is certainly good, and I'm so blessed to have you with us on this evening. So look, so that I don't hold it up any longer, we're going to invite Miss Tanika Coleman on with us. You guys have questions, please post your questions. Please share this video. I like to keep on doing videos like this just to empower us, to inspire us, to keep us going, especially in times like these when we're told so many different things by social media. We're told so many things by different celebrities and songs and different things like that that may not make us feel that we can rise to the occasion, like that we're worthy to be successful, worthy enough to have things, look, have things or have nice things as it were. So I'm grateful and I'm thankful and I am blessed. This is Tanika Coleman. We're going to hear all about her story and how she's coming along and what she does or what inspires her and what she does to get things going. So here we go. Thank you again so much for joining us on today. Hey, Tanika, how are you?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me on to be with you, Kat. I'm so glad that I can chat with you tonight. Thank you so much.
It is an honor. It is an honor, and I am excited. Let me tell you, I'm excited, you guys. Let me tell you, I know Tanika from way back. Look, I wanted to post some pictures up when we were young, and
You
you guys.
didn't tell me about that. You didn't tell me about the old school
And
pictures.
I didn't make the available, I didn't make time available to reach out to you about that. So that's why they're not there. That's not there. So you can say, oh no, don't show that. We know each other from way back. And I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you and so proud of just the ingenuity that you have and this passion that you have to help and assist, right? Assist moms, working moms, going to school moms, whatever the case may be. Assisting moms on this progression. Look, as we give birth, as we juggle all of these things that we do, we wear so many hats. I thank you for me so very much for all that you're doing. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get started? And when did this all get rolling? And we'll jump back into some other questions. But how did you get started? How did you get started?
I guess to begin, first it starts with my introduction into my field with working with mothers and babies. That began when I first worked with the Maryland WIC program, which stands for Women's, Infants, and Children program. And that was actually over 20 something years ago. That was my first introduction with supporting breastfeeding women. Another name for breastfeeding that could be used is called lactation. And that's where I had this passion to further my expertise in that area to become a registered nurse and also a lactation consultant. So to fast forward, I'm now a registered nurse and a lactation consultant. And that path has been a divine intervention because I did not have this passion to be as my first choice in a career choice when I first entered college. So I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to work with moms, work with families, and as you shared, just be with them through that whole process of just welcoming a new life. So, Otaste Lactation actually began its start in 2016. So, we're 5 years in existence, and it started as a collaboration with the Baltimore Healthy Start Incorporated organization, which is a nonprofit organization in Baltimore that just does what I described. They service pregnant women, families in the Baltimore metropolitan area, and walk them through the process of pregnancy and also after delivery to help with parenting support and other community resources. But what they didn't have at the time of the 2016 phase was a, an established breastfeeding education support. And that's where the collaboration of Otaste Lactation and Baltimore Healthy Start had began. And we started with educational classes. We branched to having one-to-one support and also support for women that have chosen to breastfeed, and also the idea is to advocate and to educate soon to be moms about the breastfeeding process so that they and their families can make an informed decision on how they would choose to feed their new infant, their new addition to their family.
It is so important. Let me tell you, this sounds so awesome. I'm so excited again because I can relate to this. I had my son in Germany. A program like this would help me so much. It was so frustrating. So you guys, I'm telling you, a program like this, it changes how you think about things. It takes the anxiety, some of the anxiety that comes along with it when you're newborn, as someone when things are just right, you have questions and things like that. So look, I'm excited. I'm excited because it gives another it gives new minds, and even if this is your second, third, or fourth birth, every birth is different. Every child is different. Even the process, although it's the same process, I was able to say that it's got its little differences as well because our bodies change and all of those things. So wow, thank you so very much. And you partnered with Baltimore Healthy Child. Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
Yes, it's the Baltimore Healthy Start Incorporated. That's a nonprofit organization. It's been in existence in the city since 1991. And why this is so important, why that has been so important for me, when I worked for the Maryland WIC program, I was in collaboration then with Baltimore Healthy Start. So this is like me coming back home and just giving back what actually had been poured into me.
Wow, that is so awesome. And we hope and pray, look, that whatever neighborhood or area that you're in, including say whatever state, neighborhood, city, state, or whatever you are, that we do as a culture, as a community, um, don't just go and leave, pour back into the very neighborhood and environment that we grew up in, no matter how they were, in the collective nature. They individually have an impact on our lives. So it's just phenomenal what you're doing because women um, are life givers, right? Without us, without us, right? So you take that and let it marinate a little bit, everyone out there. Everyone out there, take that and let it marinate a little bit. Because if you all of a sudden said, you know what now, it's not going to happen, we're done. We're done with this birthday and, what should really happen? So I'm so thankful because you offer a lot to moms who, and you're there as a support and offer so much to moms who may be thinking about maybe breastfeeding and have some apprehensions about it and whatnot. Can you tell us the healthy aspect and why it's such a great important thing to look to breastfeeding as opposed to regular bottle feeding or baby formula from the shelf. Look how it look, and we're not shunning anyone who does that. Being a mom is also saying that right there, you nailed it. But there are some differences, so please share with us the differences in breast, the importance of
Yes, I'm glad you made the point that no, we do not shun formula. We can, just put it out there and say formula versus breastfeeding. I don't shun it. It has a purpose. I always say that we look at it for medicinal purposes, and there are challenges with breastfeeding because I actually had a relative when I was describing, what I was doing, and she said to me, "You have to teach a mother how to breastfeed." And I said, yeah, I mean, you would think that you would not have to. And yes, babies are born to breastfeed, but sometimes there may be just little challenges, little circumstances that are occurring along the way based on the mother's health, the baby's health. There are different factors that we would talk about. And with the education, if you have that in place, you would know what to expect in advance and know how to troubleshoot or have the support to teach you how to troubleshoot. So, in reference to breastfeeding, it's important that we advocate for moms and babies to breastfeed because, simply put, is mother's milk, and it's designed for mother's milk to be the best optimal choice for our human babies, for our babies. So, it has so many properties that we haven't even tapped into its properties of its health benefits, but some of the health benefits that exist is that breastfeeding is actually a protectant for the baby in reference to building up the baby's immune system. Just to correlate what that means now in the time of our lives that we're going through a pandemic, it is found to protect babies from the COVID virus, I should say, not vaccination. So it acts as a COVID vaccination, but it is a protectant against the COVID virus for babies. It also is purposeful for the mother as well. It has benefits for mom and babies as well. Continuing with babies, it is something that helps develop the brain development for the baby after the baby is born and develops outside of the womb. It is a money saver. Let's look at it from the economic perspective. Breast milk is free, is readily available, is at the right temperature, is very convenient. It is a cost saver because you don't have to worry about buying formula. That is another aspect of it. And it helps protect babies from developing allergies, certain childhood diseases like ear infections, and there may be some babies, even though that they are breastfed, that still develop ear infections. There could be other causes for that, but it may reduce the risk of that occurrence. For mommy, it helps mommy to actually recover from the birthing process a little bit faster, and it helps to protect her against certain types of cancer development, particular ovarian cancer and also breast cancer. And we know that it is a bonding factor. No other process could be more natural and more actually gentle and more efficient than forming that bond between mom and baby and also family as well, because there's a way for fathers, grandparents, extended family to be a part of the whole breastfeeding process and us as a community as well.
Wow, there are so many positive and wonderful aspects to breastfeeding, and all that it does, and some of the things I have heard before, and some of them I have not. So you have definitely enlightened me. I pray that you guys are, just getting an earful and you're learning something maybe that you haven't learned before, and also it's information to pass along to someone else that you know maybe almost ready to give way or at that deciding point. I feel that this information is definitely helping you to decide and it's playing a great part in what it is that you're going to do and feeding your child, right? And feeding your child. So tell us about your company that you are partnering, that you started, OK Lactation. Before we get into the word OK Lactation, I was like, OK Lactation. I'm not gonna put that on the banner. I'm not gonna put that on the banner. That's the name of the business, but I don't know how somebody's gonna, I had all of these insights. you know, how you feel and all of that, and how people will take it. But it is what it is because this is it's a positive thing, and it's what we want to spin it around. You know, it's also positive. It's also protection for your child. And for all you, no other way to keep your child. So I'm so thankful for and I made my way around to learn. Oh, okay, yeah, and it wasn't even about me. So I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that in your intuitive mind, because of your passion, because of your expertise and knowledge that you were able to come up with something, a name that was like, and it has an exclamation point after it. Remember, I had that little, but it has an exclamation point on it because it is a matter of fact. It's your and it's going to be protected by the breast milk here in China, which is an awesome thing. Tell us about who you are. What stage of your business are you in? How did how did you come to the point where you were like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this.
So my business got started actually just by experience. I've always worked predominantly in the community as a community health nurse, working in the area of what we call maternal child health, so working with pregnant women and also working with children. I do have a background of working as a school health nurse, working in that pediatric environment. And a part of my duties as a maternal child health nurse or a nurse case manager that supports pregnant women during their pregnancy and after they also deliver their baby. One of the requirements that me and my colleagues had was to do childbirth education classes. So, as a childbirth educator, and also a person that has presented breastfeeding education, I noticed that how we were allotted the time to do all of that information and present it in a community atmosphere, it just was not enough time. And I wanted to create my own platform where I could actually design something more specific and something more actually detailed where we would get all of the facets that are needed as far as educational pieces, particularly related to breastfeeding, that it would be something very inclusive and comprehensive. So Old Taste Lactation was birthed simply because I had done a class session as a part of my regular hat and my regular position and thought, I don't have enough time. And most of my colleagues, we said that we don't have enough time. So I was inspired to create an educational session where I thought that I could piece together what does breastfeeding education look like. So a part of what I actually created with my partnership with Baltimore Healthy Start is a 5-week class session. And believe it or not, we did have participants come all 5 weeks, including fathers. That's one of the things that we relish about is that we have fathers and grandparents that are part of our classes. That's something that we definitely encourage, and they're definitely interactive. I make them a part of the process. So we actually partnered and I was able to implement my classes, my 5-week class vision, and it's been going on since, as I mentioned, 2016 for 5 years. But to share how I came up with the name, Otaste Lactation comes from the verse Psalms 34:8, oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that walks in the presence of his counsel. And there's other, um, other versions of the word that may word that verse a little bit different. But I wanted to actually be a part of the process of showing how good God is. And I think just the knowledge of showing what He has created in us, breast milk, this viable thing that's a part of a mom's ability to pass something on to their newborn child. Again, something that is free. I want to be in part of the process of encouraging moms to do that, especially amongst ourselves, women of color. We do have lower breastfeeding rates than women of other ethnicities, and we want to actually encourage women of color to actually practice breastfeeding and encourage them to breastfeed more, which is something that is actually in existence now. We're seeing increasing statistics where more women of color, more African American women are breastfeeding more than ever before, and it's becoming more of a norm, and that's the projected goal just for all of us, because really to classify things in the health field, we normally break things down by groups or ethnicities um, or sexual classification. But when it comes to feeding your baby, I look at that as a human experience, and I just want to encourage and to support that human experience. And again, to just to show how God is so good. And I think this is one example how good He is, that He made something so wonderful and so powerful for us, that He has given us all that we need to prepare us for the world that we're in. And in this case, it is to prepare our newborn babies to actually thrive and be healthy in our society.
Absolutely. I love that. I love how you I didn't think it was breastfeeding. I do apologize. Yeah, I did and I was so taken aback. I so love words and things. And that is one of the first pieces that came to mind as tasting food that the Lord is good. And He helped me to understand, this is about me. It's not about you, saying it's not about me. Um, but that is so wonderful because built, we are built, we are built to give life, and we are built with the after effects of, okay, once you have that baby, how are you going to feed the baby? And then we got to put all the other stuff in place, of course, but to have, our bodies built in such a way is so awesome. And God definitely went out of His way to make us unique in that manner, right? Unique in that manner to give nourishment, to be nurturing in such a nutritious manner. It's such a nutritious way. Thank you so very much. I love the fact that I love the fact that it didn't even start out that way. It didn't start out with you working to own your own business and so forth, and do all of this. But it started out and it was humble. It was so humble, and you're so gracious, and we're so gracious. And yes, I can understand with you. So, are there other people on your team? How does that look with your organization? Oh, taste, lactation. How how does that look? Are there other people on your team?
Well, actually, right now, I am the sole owner and the only team member at this time, but we're looking to build as we expand our services to also support individuals in a corporate setting. So that is one area that we're looking into, and that will be growth within the organization. But my business model actually exists now as a form of collaboration. And as I mentioned, my main collaboration is with Baltimore Healthy Start, a place where I call home.
So is it safe to say that you are available and open to other collaborations as well? Or like how does that go?
Yes, that's something that can be discussed on a case by case basis to identify the needs of other groups and other organizations, that we individually would come up with a plan that would work to actually tailor it to service one group's particular clients.
Awesome.
And I try always to ask questions. Ask everyone that you come across, somebody any office where you have your managers, people that are there, you feel like this is something that you are in your workplace, then ask her, call her up. What is I can send you the contact information and the website is Greenbrook as we speak. And I can't wait to share the Bible study. But we'll put all the information up and let everyone know to get in touch with you for that services. And some questions that I do typically ask everyone because we're curious, right? We're curious to know what is it that inspires you the most as far as what kind of drove you or put you into this direction, not only in your career, but doing something that you want to grow. You feel like I have to pass a lot of legacy. What is it that not only that specifically for my life, but the things that one or two of the observations or anything else that you can share or someone else could learn at any time, and maybe we didn't answer that question inspiration. How can you share that?
So, in reference to sharing information for anyone that wants to build their own business, whether, no matter what the industry is, first I would say look at identifying a need because essentially, yes, you heard my experience came organically, but I just identified a need that, more needed to be done. So that is one aspect of actually growing a business. If you can solve a need and a purpose, then you are actually, you know, um, really in a world of success on its own. The other thing is just base everything on your passion and your dreams and turn that into a triumph and also success. One of my most famous quotes that I live by, and one of the persons that I admire so much is Harriet Tubman. And one of her quotes that I love, and I'm sorry, I'm looking down because I always have to read it. It states, every dream begins with a dreamer. You have the strength, the passion, the patience to reach for the stars and change the world. And I think that's something all of us that we can live by, that every dream begins with a dreamer. So first start with your dream and start with your passion, and everything always normally comes together. You'll have people that come in your path that you were not aware would be instrumental in moving your dream and your passions forward. It just always works that way when you follow your heart.
Amen. And that's said in good time. Each person that I had on, it's so important to give these flexible to what it is that you feel or what it is, have the flexibility to even bring forward the things that you weren't even in some ways the things that you weren't even thinking would be instrumental or would be pivotal for you in your journey right now. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on Untitled Chapter. It's definitely something that we all can kind of tune to and let to give us the faith, the strength, and the encouragement that we need in our different situations. Um, Thank you so much for sharing that with us. What is and I'm looking down and I already have a question. How many times on your journey, because how many times did you tell yourself, no, I'm not gonna do this, or no, it's not gonna work, or I need to just, how many times did you doubt your whole process, and how did you turn that around? What kind of mindset?
Well, I can share this with you. The first time I started teaching, and again, I started teaching and started OTA's lactation outside of my regular work duties. Um, there were some times that I had doubt, but what was driving me, I should say, what has driven me was just the fact that I had always been working with mothers and babies for quite some time. That was what I did from 9 to 5. And then my classes, my organization was in the evening times. So I always had a daily reminder of what I wanted to do and what I actually needed to do. But what occurred when I completed my first class session, because I have such a fear of speaking in public and speaking in front of people. The thought just crossed my mind to say that I can't believe that I'm doing this, because it wasn't something somebody made me do. It was a passion I had, did the initial reach out to Baltimore Healthy Start and, recommended my services. And my services wasn't paid at first, or at least I didn't offer them as a paid services. I offered it as a volunteer services, and Baltimore Healthy Start, in turn, actually agreed to compensate me. So officially, that's how the business aspect came into play, because it wasn't a monetary exchange. But what I want to share, the point that I want to make is that I guess when you have that passion, if there's any doubt, what drives you is your desire or your first reason why. That's what keeps you going. And if you have to write it down, your reason why, post it on a mirror, on your dash, in your car, or your rear view mirror, in your car, or your visor, I should say, anywhere in your home that is a reminder, or in your personal everyday life, to remind you why you are doing what you're doing if you have any doubts. And for me, when I had that split second of thinking, I can't believe that I'm doing this, because that none of this fit within my character, because I'm normally the one that likes to be low key, and because of it, I'm more confident. I'm comfortable with speaking, and Kat, you and I were speaking offline before we started the chat, how I had mentioned that I was invited to speak at a national breastfeeding conference this June, and had done so maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And that's something that I would never imagine me doing. But because of my experience and just being able to speak free on a platform like this, and that's how our classes are, because we just talk, we just have a dialogue, and the subject matter just happens to be breastfeeding. And there are other things that we talk about too, because with our classes is a platform for us to talk about other things that involve the family, because I want everyone to know that breastfeeding is a holistic experience. It's not just the act of mother and baby nursing, but we have to look at the other dynamics, look at the other family members, and also maybe look at the health of the mom. That includes the mental health as well, the mental health of the family. And we've had guest speakers such as social workers that talks about preparing the family, and also knowing when you need help, reaching out when you need help. And it's not just related to breastfeeding, but just related to being a parent in general. And we do focus on those things. But yes, if you are in doubt, think about your why. And that should always encourage you to move forward and look for that in line to the goal that you had set for yourself.
That's awesome. That's awesome because just like you said, I'm sorry, just like you said, it's so important to have that why right in the forefront of your mind because things may happen. Everything won't go as you planned it to. You have to remember your why. And thank you for the suggestion. Writing it down, putting it in your car, put it on your mirror. Especially, those of us who are always in the mirror, doing self care, makeup, and all of those things. Put it on your mirror, put it on your laptop. I remember teaching about that as well and inspiring, empowering in that way also. Concerning like body weight, just things that you want to do so that you can remember why it is you want to do it. And then just that feeling to give up, that feeling to kind of change things all around without really thinking about it and putting a plan together so that you can stay centered and stay focused. Thank you so much for that. That is an inspiration in itself. I truly admire
that you're getting this information and that you're seeing that it kind of connects every interview. You are my source. I'm so thankful you are my source. But every interview has linked back to that why and that desire and just keep in order to keep that passion alive is to remember your why. And it's also about connection. Now you've been invited, you can share with us that you've been invited back to do a conference, to have a conference, to host a conference, and you haven't even been in connection with these people for 5 or 6 years or something like that. So that's awesome. That's awesome. That is expansion and going toward passion, that expansion, and living out your dreams. So we just want to encourage you guys to go for it. Go for it. Pray about it. Plan. And you have been planning. How long have you been planning this move to OK Texas? Well, not move because you're still in collaboration, but how long have you been planning your own business? How long have you been planning this?
You had asked how have I been preparing for this?
How long? Yeah, I'm sorry if you can't hear me. How long have you been preparing?
How long have I been preparing? It has been actually, I guess, for a couple of years
Okay.
that I have been preparing um,
Mm-hmm.
for this experience. It's
Oh,
something that's evolving as I continue to actually what I call hone my skills.
mm-hmm.
Every time that I'm working with a family, that is also preparation because I always learn from them, and that's the one thing that I'll say. Um, with any group that I'm actually teaching, any individual that I'm working with one to one, we're going to learn together. We're all going to learn together because it's a collaboration that we establish between the two of us that we build and we grow and we actually support one another. So it is actually a group effort that happens.
that's awesome. And you know what? You guys, I hope you picked up on Tanika let us know and help us to understand that it's not just mom centered. This is a family and community thing that you kind of venture out on. Everyone is involved, and that's how you kind of encapsulate and bring in everybody so that they know, that they're a part of this process as well, that they're valued part of the process. That's awesome. Because it can kind of be something that can set you back from thinking about it or give you, I'm not sure, because it may seem like it's tremendous weight or something of that nature, but everyone is important, and you instruct in that manner so that everyone knows how valuable they are to this process. How hard is it? Well, you said that you even have men that come to your classes as well. Can you talk about that?
Oh yes, you know what? I wish I had prepared in advance. We have a video that we had taken with the men with one particular exercise that I do with the dads. And it was something that went viral. It had been shared and seen almost like 20,000 times. Yeah, we do have our gentlemen a part of the process, and I kind of lure them into the activity that we do because we have activities. It's not just me talking and you listening. It's activities every day. So we do crafts. We play games that are actually um, really games that you would actually be a part of if you were at a baby shower. So I have selected baby shower games to fit the core education that we're focusing on. And so dads participate in being a part of the games. One of the games that we do is called Pictionary. And with Pictionary, we learn about the benefits of breastfeeding. But dads in particular, they actually support us with of learning how the baby is positioning at the breast. What I figured, moms, they're going to learn how to do that. most definitely.
Mhm.
But I want the dads to know
Yeah.
how to support this process too, because it is necessary. Because they may need to, as early as after delivery, support moms in the hospital with positioning the baby at the breast. So it's a very funny activity. They're my model. We have like this breast model that they put on, because I figured I have those body parts, mom have those body parts. They don't have.
Right.
So they put on
Mhm.
the breast model. We have a breastfeeding baby that fits the breast model, and then I'm giving directions to
Mhm.
dad as to, okay, this is how you position the baby in this way. And again, I want him to know what mom feels like and what things to look for and what pointers to do, just in case she needs help at home. Because unfortunately, someone in my position may not be available 3 o'clock in the morning when baby is feeding.
Right.
You know that happens.
Mhm.
So I want
Definitely.
an expert as well.
Awesome. Awesome. That's awesome because I know or I've seen and felt because I'm a mom, so I've seen and felt also that men can feel very disconnected from that process,
That's
because
right.
they aren't as involved. So it's a way to bring them in and to validate and show them that you are just as important, you are just as important in this process and to keep them going. I'm sorry, I had to fix that because I was like, this is so rude for you guys to just be looking at me from this way on down. So,
That's okay.
my apologies for that too. Technical challenges do happen. Um, but thank you so very much. So we do want to, just extend it out to men and let you know. That's why I was like in the post of this. I wanted everyone to know that it's not just information for moms. It's not just information if you have a kid. It's not just information if you're getting ready to birth a child. It's information for everyone because at some point in time you may have a friend or relative, and even you yourself will be in a position that you will be able to offer something. I heard something about these classes. It's great information and it's great inspiration. So I pray that you guys are learning a lot. I am. You have given me so much information that I didn't know, and I wish my sister could be present with me here. We're in this moving
Yes, my baby AJ.
process. We're in this moving process with her, but she wasn't your first client, I don't think, but you were very instrumental in helping her. She's so very appreciative of the help that you gave them with baby Avery because oh my gosh, that was something. You're the first person that I thought of. She was like, oh, she was just having a time, and you're the first person that I thought of. I was like, let's call Tan and see what's going on, brother. And you just jumped in there. You made it so convenient. You made it so comfortable, and everything. You were very informative, and everything that you suggested, every support system that was put into play that you gave, it worked monumentally and helped in such a huge manner. So you guys, I'm letting you know that this girl knows her stuff. This girl knows her. Oh,
Thank
right.
you so much. I
You
appreciate
are
that.
so welcome. You are so welcome. So at the end, so right to the end, write down her information so that in when and if you need it, you'll be able to reach out to Tanika Coleman, lactation consultant. I thank you so very much. This isn't the close of the interview, but I can't stop saying thank you for what you do because it's so helpful. It's so helpful to so many people. And so if you're in a region without a program like this, you need to hit this young lady up. You need to contact her. So Tam, what else would you like to leave us with? We are in the second half, and we are narrowing down. So are there any extra tidbits that you want to leave with us? What's your goal nugget for the gem of all any one gem, because I'm sure there are many. You've already shared some. Any other special inspirations or nuggets you can leave with our listeners and myself? Because I'm learning too. I'm learning as well, and I'm gracious. I'm gracious. So any leaving us type of nuggets that you want to leave with us, inspirations or empowerment that you can share with us.
Yes, I would just like to say to everyone, just keep on keeping on. That is your main goal. Just don't stop. Just don't
Yeah.
stop. Don't give up. Know that there are going to be hurdles. That's how you learn. We learn from our triumphs and also our failures, but we keep moving forward and never look back. Always look to the future.
Yes, I love that. Let me tell you, and I used that one today because
Uh,
as you said, my setting is different. I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I should do this on tonight. I had all of these whatever, and then you see my camera mechanism started messing up, and I'm like. Even before that, I was just second guessing everything. I was like, you know what, I should cancel because things are just not going to be right. But indeed, keep on keeping on and just focus on what is and stop focusing on what isn't. That has helped me so, so very much. How many times have you doubted or have you second guessed? And then after the fact, you're like, I should have went on and did it. I should.
right,
And
absolutely.
you can't take that time back. Hey, Pastor B, you can't take that time back. So thank you so much for that. How do you unwind as a person who teaches? You teach
Mhm.
kind of you teach relaxation. How do you unwind? How do you unwind? What do you do to relax? Because we're all about self-care and wellness and all of those things. How do you unwind? How do you take care of yourself? Let us know.
Well, let me, put this disclaimer out. This is something that I'm still working on. It's still a work in progress. So, look, I'm looking for tips as well on this as well. So, one of the things that I used to do, I don't do this as much, especially since 2020. I used
Mhm.
to get massages. That's a way of doing self care. And one of the things that I like to do, I like to watch cooking shows. So the Food Network, one of my favorite shows to watch. Yes, get new recipes. And also HGTV. I don't know why I prefer cable because those are the only two channels that I have is Food Network and HGTV. And of course, I'm spending time with my family and friends
Mhm.
and just in general listening to music, all kinds of music, different genres,
Yeah.
particularly of course gospel music, but I love jazz music as well. And just having quiet time. I just think quiet time, period,
Yeah.
is important. Just having time for you to reflect and to be you, or just not be you, just to not be present for the moment, just to have
Right.
time away from everything. I think so important as well.
That's awesome. You giving us some great tips. Because unwinding with massages, things are opening up. So you guys look, check out my girl at Refresh and Renew Wellness Studio, my girl Keita. Check her out when you guys want your massages and your facials and things like that. I have had a couple of massages. I will be going back. I will be going back. Um, and there are others. We will have others on on the show and talking about different wellness tips. How can we stay well, keep ourselves well, and this process of breastfeeding and lactation is all about the wellness of the child, and it also presents wellness properties to mom. So you guys, if you don't know, if you didn't know, now you know. It's time to it's an opportunity to maybe set some things straight and do some things a little bit different, because maybe you haven't ever breastfed before. Maybe you're on kid I don't know, number 2 or number 3. Hey, why not? Check it out. Check out Tanika's website, which we're going to post when it's all set and it's all done. But her telephone information will be provided, how to get in contact with her, and all of those things. I'm so thankful for you being here on today. Did I have any other thing? Now you said you like jazz. I love jazz too. What instrument? What instrument is like one of your favorites? I'm not even going to say you only have one, but what instrument is your favorite, like to just vibe out to? You told you lay back, close your eyes. What are you vibing out to when you're listening to jazz?
Most definitely is a saxophone.
Look, there it is. Uh-huh. There it
Exactly. Hands down.
is. There it is, a saxophone. So you guys, and you've already shared with us your why, and you've told us about your business. Look, I'm going over my questions to make sure I hit everything that I wanted to with you. I'm so grateful and thankful that you're here. And you guys, thank you so much for watching. Once tonight, look, I still keep looking up at my little camera. I'm so mad about that thing, but it's okay. It's
No,
okay.
technology. We should be used to it by now.
We should be. We should be. And it's like roll with the punches. You gotta just roll with the punches and be flexible. Now your mother, what does your mother have to say about this venture? Miss Terry, she's so sweet and awesome. Hey, Miss Terry, how are you? Um, how does your mom feel? What is she saying? Because she's from a different era, right? So
Right.
what is she saying about you stepping out being the businesswoman, starting your business, starting your own business and all of these things? Does she have what is she saying?
Well, I mean, she's of course very supportive of
Mhm,
everything that I'm doing, and just in general, asking me how. The first thing she asks is always how my babies are. One thing I did share to continually have my experience with breastfeeding moms. I do work at a local hospital just once a month, just to have that experience in that area. And she always asks me, "How was your day? How many babies?" And she always knows the story. I had one little bad one that we didn't want to feed, and I shouldn't say bad. One little one that did not want to feed. So I'm one of the babies when I'm supposed to. But
mhm,
is very supportive of my efforts, and understand the purpose and the importance of what we're doing. And it's good that you asked that question. Just again, going back to the African American community, we know that we have a history with breastfeeding that has not been so positive because of our experiences with it that dates back to slavery. So some of our grandparents and parents may not have breastfed or may have a
mhm.
positive approach to it, but now, we definitely want to change that out there moving forward.
Yes, because it's not something, and then when you make it your process or something that you've learned about, then you can pass it on. You feel a little more confident and comfortable passing it on to your daughters, to your nieces, to
Absolutely.
whoever it is or whatever. And I must say, when after I had Hope, I breastfed for maybe 3 or 4 months, and then I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it anymore. When
Oh, I wish I could have supported you.
I wish we were in VA. So they need a program like this in VA. They need a program like this in VA. There was none there that I know of.
Right.
But like and see stuff like that, you guys, things like that. Like even when you start and it just gets frustrating, and maybe you just need someone to step in to help you along the way. Don't shy away from that. Move into it, press into it. You gotta call that lactation consultant, call Tannyka, call your local hospital. They may be able to provide
And also
some
WIC
support.
program. You qualify
Yeah,
for WIC. Yes.
yeah, your state and city sponsor programs. They know about programs such as yours because they want to be supportive and making families healthy and getting you the services that you need. Being a social worker, I understand that, and that
Mhm.
is something that we look out for in working with Department of Social Services and other areas and organizations. That's something that we look to, connecting people to services that they need. And before we leave, that was another thing that I wanted to point out is that what you do, it doesn't just, that's the focal point, but you have such a large band. You're supportive in so many other ways. So, and that's honorable, and it's worth giving a shout out to because the importance of that support, like the placement of that support, you know what I mean, for whatever may be needed or missing. And congratulations to you so much. Congratulations, Tanika. I am so, so very proud of you, just like everyone else.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Look, Pastor Dad, we don't have very many viewers with us tonight. You guys, I know they're probably going to post questions afterward and later. I'll be back and forth to chat on the YouTube channel. You guys, don't forget to subscribe and share my page. Take part in this conversation and discussion. This chat with Kat right here. You can post up your questions on the YouTube channel, and I will get back to them as quickly as I can. And I thank you so very much. Thank you for joining us, Tanika. You have been a beam of light, and you've like given us so much information concerning lactation, concerning services and support, how men and other our additional family members are just as important to this process as well. I thank you so very much for that. All of the information that you share about your journey and your inspirations. I love Harriet Tubman as well.
Uh-huh.
As a matter of fact, the movie Harriet Tubman, which look, I keep watching bits and pieces of it. I just, yeah, I just watch bits and pieces of it. But I love the song. I cannot say the girl's name, the young woman's name. Viral. I think I'm probably messing it all up. I love that song. It's so close to my heart. I like play it every single day. So I'm sorry, I kind of stepped on you. And when I said Harriet Tubman, what did that bring? Okay, what did it bring to your mind? Oh, there was something else. What did it bring to your mind? I just love inspiration. So if it brought like an inspirational encouragement to your mind, then please share it with us. 'Cause that's what we're here. We're just here to glean from one another, to learn, and all of those things. What came to your mind?
Oh, with Harriet Tubman, yo, yes,
Yeah.
she's just, I mean, they probably saw me light up just to hear her name. And
Yes.
just
Right.
incredible. Yes, just a woman that, I always look, where would we be, without her,
Mhm.
her
Exactly.
perseverance. And she had a why as well, obviously, which is freedom. So we're
Yes.
forever grateful.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And next month is Women's History Month.
Woo,
Yay! And I'm excited
yay.
about that. I'm excited about that. We make history just like Black history every single day, all the time. So we'll just be in celebration of all of that all year long. I mean, we encourage you guys to do the same. Thank you so much again, Tanika, for joining us. This is bringing our our segment, to a close. You are doing some amazing things, and I'm so very proud of you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your sharing and everything that you're doing. Keep on going strong and doing everything that you need to do. I'm wow. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till the next time comes out. I'm going to be on it to see how it is, and to share the information that is presented. Thank you so very much.
I thank you for having me.
You
Appreciate
are
it.
so welcome. You are so welcome. It is a total honor. Well, you guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Chat with Kat, where you can see this very video, and learn all of these tidbits. You can pause it, fast forward it to whatever you want to hear. I thank you so very much for sharing in with us on today, and we're going to call that a wrap. And good night. Thank you so much again. Tanika, have a great night. Thank you. And
Have
thank
a
you
great
guys as
night,
well.
everyone. Thank you, Kat.
You're welcome. It's an honor. We'll check you guys on Wednesday. Catch the show on Wednesday at 6. Have a great night.